Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
We'll go live on Facebook here. Okay. All right, we are live, also on the Facebook group. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So we're gonna get started. I know there's only a few of you here today, so hopefully get some more people because this is our last training for 2021 and for the next few weeks. And like I mentioned, we're going to be making some adjustments in 2022. So today we are talking about number one, we're going to talk about what we can do still in the remainder of the holiday season. So what are some tactics that we can do to increase our sales, our leads, and our followers? And then we're going to be able to take some time to just talk about the first quarter of the next year and then leave some time for questions. So we're going to kind of go through some different options that you can do, all based off of trainings we've already done, just so you can at least kind of make a plan for what do I really want to do in the next few weeks to end off December, and then what do I want to do coming into January. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Got some fun holiday slides again. Okay. So I want to talk today about, as I mentioned, ending the year strong on social media and then also really getting into 2021. So over the last few months, we have done so much training on social media. We've covered Facebook. We've, got a good in-depth look into Instagrams and things there. We've talked about strategies. We've talked about content, especially if you couple the Saturday trainings with the monthly trainings that I do with Promo Republic or the social media studio. Lots of fun stuff in there. So today, like I said, it's kind of that bird's eye view of what are some of the things that we've done that we can implement. So I wanted to start first off talking about how to help increase sales, especially in the next 2 weeks. So we are a week out, which is crazy. A week today is Christmas Day. Wow. It's gone by so quickly. So we are obviously at the point where, and I don't know if this was always necessarily a thing, but people aren't going to be buying Manatech products to give to someone next Saturday, right? For the most part, because they're not going to come in time. And that's not what the intention is. So it's not about last minute gifting. You want to talk more about gifting for themselves. What is something that you are going to be using for yourself, especially starting January 1? So number one is always going to be follow up. Even though you're not coming at this from the perspective of this is for Christmas, you can still have conversations with people about buying. Why? People are buying now more than ever. There's more last minute Christmas shoppers. People are thinking about all the things that they want. They're thinking about things that they need. And when their credit card is out, when their money is out, that is the best time, right? If you think about it, if any of you have ever gone to like the mall, for example, or Costco. I'm really bad at this at Costco. You go in for one thing. I'm like, Lindsay, you need to go get toilet paper, and you're going to go grab that toilet paper at Costco, and then you're going to leave Costco. And then suddenly, an hour and a half later, I find myself in the checkout spending $500 because what do? While the credit card's already warm, you go, well, maybe I'll grab this. And I've been meaning to try that. And all of a sudden your buggy is completely full, right? And so that's even why at grocery stores or even at the, clothing stores, they always have things right by the cash register. Whether at the grocery store, it's like the gum, the candy, the magazines. And then at clothing stores, maybe it's a pair of sunglasses or some jewelry or a lip gloss, right? They know that while you're buying, you're more likely to buy. Now, this is where a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't want to bug people during, this time. They're already spending a lot of money. They're busy, they're trying to finish up for the Christmas season. We've talked about this. The statistics show that people are more likely to engage with you during the holiday season. And if they're more likely to engage with you and they're more likely to purchase, it kind of seems like a recipe for success in terms of this is the best time to reach out. So don't be afraid to follow up. Even sending something like, hey, I just wanted to say happy holidays. If there are past customers, say, I wanted to say, express my gratitude for being my customer in 2021. I'm already looking ahead to 2022, and I want to make sure that you start January 1 with everything that you need. What are some of the goals that you have for 2022? Right? They may say, I want to spend more time with my family, or I want to take my health a bit more seriously, or, I want to improve my gut health, things like that. You say, great. What are some things that we can get ordered for you right now to ensure that you start January 1 successfully? Right? Because you matter too. Again, people are already buying. So have those follow-up conversations. I put 3 asterisks beside it because this is probably the most underutilized sales strategy across the board in any company, in any industry, is follow-up. And you can increase your sales by 50% just by following up. Your current customers are likely to tack on additional products to what they already use. Potential customers who have been on the fence are likely to say yes during this season. We know because people are buying, and people typically tend to buy while they're buying, and they're more likely to talk to you. They're genuinely happier during this season. They're going back to what matters. You can also use the December specials. We still have some things on special, but be direct. Now is not the time to produce a lot of content in terms of like entertainment or education. People are not going to spend 30 minutes watching, something about, or something fun that you've put on, like a webinar or a fun Facebook Live. They're quick, right? People right now are being multitaskers. So be direct. Don't be afraid to post, hey, this is on sale right now, or to follow up with your customers and say, hey, here are some specials that we have. We're nearing the end of it. I didn't want you to miss out. How many can I put you down for? That's a tip, actually, a friend of mine told me. She is in, totally unrelated, but she's in the pet food sales sort of industry. She works with veterinary clinics, and now she's the big manager. She has a huge territory, so she doesn't go to clinics anymore, but that's where she started. And now she trains a lot of salespeople. And she said that one of the tricks that she used that helped her early on become a top seller and be able to move into management was that she never said, do you want, can I put you down for an order? Or is this of interest to you today? Is this something that you would like to carry? She said, how many can I put you down for? She said, even products that they were typically on the fence about, they would say, do you know what? Let's just start at 10 bags of this and let's see how it goes. She said, I got significantly less no's when I started assuming that their answer was yes. So even so this was years ago, she told me this. So when I was in the field and I was selling as a leader, I used to do that. You guys know, I've mentioned a few times, I sold makeup for a makeup company. And I used to put together 3 little packages I did a lot of in-person events and Zoom events. And I always spoke to these 3 packages. And I never said, are you ordering today? Or is there anything that caught your eye? It was, which package were you going with today? Even people who came to the event that maybe weren't huge into makeup, they would sometimes say, oh, I don't really know. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I would say, then you are best to go with package 1. I wouldn't even worry about package 2 and 3 right now. Package 1 is your starter. It's very basic. It's just a few different products that you can use to, let you test it out to see if you like doing it. Right. And so again, I always assumed the sale. And so having that sort of language, I posted into the social media group, I believe it was last week, and it was a TikTok that I found. And it was a guy, he was doing a TikTok and he was pretending to be like a sales coach. And he said, somebody said, oh, like, here's some information. And they're like, oh, let me think about it. That was the answer. Let me think about it. So he was role playing with himself saying, what would you say to somebody that says, let me think about it? And he's like, don't let them walk away from that answer. Say, listen, say I'm having that conversation with Diane and she goes, oh, let me think about it. I say, Diane, when people say that, it usually means one of two things. One, they're actually not interested, but they're a little too nice to tell me. Or two, there's still some questions that we have unanswered today. And you're looking for a little bit more information about this. Which one are you? We're afraid to say that because we don't want to hear that person say, listen, I'm just too nice to say no. But that is a successful conversation. Why? Number one, that person said no. You can move on. You don't have to like sit there and keep trying to follow up with them because they say, oh, let me think about it. What do you do? Okay, great. Why don't I reach back in a few days? So you send a message. They don't respond. So you send one a few days later. Hey, I noticed that you hadn't opened my message yet, and I wanted to just check back in. So now this is somebody you're spending all this energy on, and they're really trying to ghost you. And two, you're building that know, like, and trust factor in that conversation because you're saying to them, listen, you're allowed to say no. It's okay. Do you know how much that can actually do for somebody? If Diane said that to me and I'm like, she says, you know what, Lindsay, like some people, they're just too nice, too nice to say no. Which one are you? And I'm like, do you know what, Diane, I kind of want to say no right now. That's okay, Lindsay. That's totally fine. I'm here for you if you ever, change your mind or if anything ever piques your interest. Do you know how I walk away from that conversation? Feeling good about Diane, which means my trust and my know and my like factor has increased for her, which means I'm actually considering buying from her, even though I said no.
Okay.
Right? Because now our goal is, yes, like, of course we want to have the sale, but our goal is to create impactful, meaningful, and positive interactions with people. Even if they say no. Think about it. Have any of you ever heard of the service recovery paradox? It is the concept that when a business messes up, but fixes it, the customer's loyalty actually increases than if they never made the mistake in the first place. Think about it. You go to a restaurant, you book a reservation, you get there 10 minutes early. They say, hey, Terry, your table's ready. Great. You go, you order, your food's cooked perfectly. You have a fine meal, you leave. Now, instead, you go and they don't find a reservation in the computer and they're packed. And now you're waiting like 45 minutes for your table and you're frustrated and you're annoyed. And you finally get to your table 45 minutes later with your friends from out of town because they've been dying to go to this restaurant and you're pissed. And the manager comes over and says, I'm so sorry. Any appetizer you want is on the house. We're going to send over a few sample platters, whatever. Okay. Or maybe you have an awful meal and at the end of the meal, you realize that the manager zeroed out your bill. People are more likely to walk away from that situation and tell other people about how amazing the management and the staff and the company is because they fixed a problem. That's why I used to love, and it's funny, but I used to love when my company sent my customer the wrong product. I was like, this is an amazing opportunity for me to flex the service recovery paradox and to show her that my customer service is amazing. And she's more likely to go tell her friends positive reviews and refer me than if my company would have sent her the right product and then she would have had an average experience. right? So you
Mhm.
always have to go like, how can I turn this into a positive experience? In a direct sales company, especially, we are the front line customer service to our customers, right? And so it doesn't matter what that conversation is, but you have to, those amazing conversations, whether you're fixing a problem, whether you're, using that language of, Diane, when I hear people say, let me think about it, usually means one of two things. Doesn't matter what our answer is. You've either answered more questions and gotten a sale, or you've gotten a no, but you've impressed them with how professional you are and they've increased their likability, or you've got a new potential lead, whatever. Those can only happen if you actually do the follow-up.
Mhm.
If you actually say, I'm going to reach out to my customers. And I love the holidays for follow-up, because even if you've dropped the ball for some time, you may be thinking, I do really need to follow up, but I've dropped the ball there and I'm afraid, I'm a little nervous to go back to some of my customers because it's been so long. The holidays are a great time to do that because it's a great excuse to talk to people. It's a great excuse to talk to people you haven't talked to in 6 months, a year, 2 years. And also a great excuse to talk to a customer that you talked 2 days ago, because it's a new opportunity to say, hey, happy holidays. I wanted to thank you for supporting, my business this year. You're one of my best customers. I appreciate you. It's why during the holiday season, I love sending cards. Joan Mallory, so incredibly sweet, sent me a Christmas card. And instantly getting that, do you know how that makes you feel? Even just a simple, like, thank you for everything that you've done for my business this year.
Mhm.
You're like, wow. People get a lot of emails. People get a lot of social media notifications all day long. And it's interesting now, in-person mail is becoming such a strong selling strategy, because used to be you get piles of mail and people would just go like, throw out your junk and only read the bills and personal letters, right? But now it's not like that. People actually get excited to get mail. And so maybe you didn't send holiday cards this year, but can you send end of year cards? Can you say, I've been reflecting on 2021 as I head into 2022, and I just wanted to say thank you for being one of my best customers. And you can promote something in there. You can say, I'm doing a free challenge on Facebook, or, we have some specials coming up, or we have a very exciting product coming, subscription box coming in January. I'd love to tell you more about it. Thank you so much for everything, and have an amazing 2022. Diane said, my customer got a package that was broken by Purelator, obviously. And Manatech sent a new one, no issues. She sent the picture and she was so impressed by the company. Exactly. If she would have got, thank you, Purelator. Like, you have to remind yourselves in those moments not to get frustrated with Purelator, but to say thank you for creating this amazing opportunity for me and the company to flex the customer service that we have and how amazing and exceptional it is, because that's what makes people stay with companies. It is, what is the brand? Who are they? What are their values? So follow-up is incredibly important right now, and it's the most profitable thing that you can do if you have limited time, because of course I know that everyone also wants to spend time with their families this season. If you have limited time, spend it on follow-up. Focus on the family values, nourishing their family and New Year's goals and motivations in those conversations. And you can also use that time to follow up to launch a January challenge. So we talked about, I think it was last week, we talked about challenges, or the week before, I can't remember. And I said there's a few different ways you can do a challenge. You can do a free challenge where the challenge and all the tasks or whatever it is you're doing within it is free. And at the end, you really, now that you've got some engaged people, you really push the product. Or you can flip it and lead with the purchase of a product and then attach a challenge to that. So for example, launching a January challenge, but you must be a customer to participate. And maybe it's an accountability challenge. Maybe it's, I'm going to make sure that not only do you have the best products at home for you and your family, I'm going to help you make sure you use those best products for you and your family. You say, how many times have you bought something that you know is good for you and you let it sit until it expired, under your kitchen sink or under your bathroom cabinet until the next spring when you go to clean it out, right? How many times have you been in that position? I want to make sure that I want to, what is the word I'm looking for? You like respect their investment. You know what I mean? So you could talk about that, but they have to be a customer. That way you can lead with some upfront sales. So in those December follow-up conversations, you could say something like, hey, happy holidays. Thank you so much for being an amazing customer. I've loved connecting with you over the past year, or whatever that conversation is going to be for that particular person. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you though about this challenge that I'm doing starting January 1. It's for current customers, and it's for customers who are, you could say, on any of the Manatech products, or you could say are on certain Manatech products, right? How many can I put you down for? I'd love for you to be a part of this challenge, right? And they may say, do you know what? I do want to take better care of myself. I am excited for January, for this like new, fresh 2022. I'm excited to finally get out of 2021, right? Put some of that stuff behind me. Yeah, do you know what? Let me grab that product, right? Or they may just top up their order. Or they may say, yes, and continue my auto ship next month, right? Mm-hmm. So it's inviting them to that challenge, and it's starting in January, because people will be motivated and excited January 1. It's why I love starting challenges actually on January 1. Not waiting until like January 4th or 5th or whatever the first Monday is, because people's motivation has already started to wane. Think about how many people sign up for a gym membership at the end of December and already cancel it by February. It's insane. Especially when I was someone who really went to the gym, I hated going to the gym in January because it would be packed. And I'd always think like just a few more weeks. And once it's February, it'll be back to normal. The regulars will still be here, and all those newbies from January, they'll be gone because they've already given up. January 1, people are motivated. And so make sure that you capitalize on that. But I love starting with something that has that sale up front with the challenge included, because that's what creates the urgency, right? Like you may be talking about your products, and you may be like, I really want to get more people on Manipul. Like that would just be like, that is one of my goals. And, maybe you're trying to talk about it and people say things like, oh, is that available at any time? Or they think I'll do it next paycheck, or I'll start it next month. So when you don't have that limited time offer or that urgency, people can sometimes avoid and procrastinate and wait. But adding in, you don't have to wait for the company to launch some sort of like limited time discount in order to create urgency for your products. You can do that through challenges. You can say everyone who's purchased by December 31st is able to join my January 1 challenge. And that can help you get some last minute sales over the next 2 weeks, right? We don't want January or December like 15th to be the last time somebody placed an order. We really want to make sure that we are still stacking that last 2 weeks of the month. And what's amazing is most business owners actually pull back the last 2 weeks of the month, which means they're hearing from less people in the direct sales industry. They're hearing from less small business owners. And so you have less competition in that regard. So this is some strategies on how you can increase your sales. So let's talk about leads. So, maybe you have from that, you're like, I'm going to just focus maybe on some follow-up. I'm going to challenge myself to do at least 5 follow-up conversations from now. You can even have those conversations, PS, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Eve. Yes. People are more likely to talk to you. They're more likely to talk to you. They're excited. They're in a good mood. It's 5 conversations. You could tell yourself every time you go to the bathroom, you're going to have a conversation with someone, right? Have it in your coffee, like when you're drinking your coffee in the morning, or, after we do presents and have breakfast on Christmas morning, everyone's kind of just relaxing in the background. I'm going to send 5 messages. Oops, let's just mute a few. There we go. Okay, so to help increase leads. So our leads are obviously a little bit different. Leads are people that are interested and that we are warming up, right? So you can decide after we talk about a few different things to just do one thing. You can go, I'm just going to do follow up and focus on that. Or you can choose one thing from each of these topics. So maybe you're going to go do all that follow up in the next 2 weeks to help, boost up some of your sales. And you're going to do that maybe with, some customers that I know typically buy from me, customers that already know me and that I know are more likely to buy. But maybe you have that list on your lead list of maybe some cold contacts or some people you just started warming up and you're like, they're on the fence. I want to turn them into a hotter lead come January. I want them to be ready to go in January. So what are some things I could do? Like I mentioned last week, you could run that free challenge that I talked about starting January 1, and you can use this time to promote it now. So maybe I've just sent a message to my best customer, Amy, and I'm focusing on topping up her order, getting a few more products into her rotation. And I'm telling her with my, very special customers, I'm doing a private accountability challenge for just those people. Would love for you to start on January 1. Then I have Samantha over here, and Samantha is somebody who keeps humming and hawing with me. I can never really seem to pin her down. She tells me she's interested, but she procrastinates. Am I going to go with her and maybe try to push a sale right now? Hasn't worked for me in the past. So I want to make her a bit hotter of a lead, right? I want to warm her up a bit. I'm going to go message Samantha and say, hey, Samantha, I just wanted to say happy holidays. I love connecting with you this year. I know you've been interested in Manatech for quite some time, which makes me excited because I'm actually running a free challenge starting January 1. And it's going to be all about learning how to nourish your gut health and repair your gut health in 2022. I have a private Facebook group. I would love for you to be a part of it. Can I count you in for that? You're not pushing the sale, but you're creating the opportunity to put her into a situation where you're going to be able to talk more about the why. Why is this important for Samantha? How can I get her off the fence? I'm going to have to hit her maybe with some stories, some statistics. I'm going to, tell her there was, I can't remember what product Kristen said, but there's a demo that's going to be filmed and Kristen tried it. I don't know if she told you guys about it. And she took two different pantyhose, and she put in food in both of them. And in one, she just poured in water, and it's food that you really shouldn't be eating. And, you can see nothing breaks down or, everything's just kind of stuck. And then I'll have to double check, but there was a Manatech product that she put in the other one. And it started to break down the food. And so she talks about when you're not supplementing, when you're not putting the right products, whether it's enzymes, probiotics, whatever, this is what's happening. And you're actually able to see what's going on and what the products are doing, which I think is so incredibly amazing because, we don't have a product where you can go, oh, look at my naked face. And then I just put this makeup on and look at the transformation instantaneously, right? But doing something like that, it's what Norwex does, right? With the chicken, they rub the raw chicken and then they clean it with the Norwex cloth and then they test the salmonella and there's no bacteria to prove Norwex actually cleans, right? So it's creating that same sort of story. So super, super cool. That is coming in January. So that'll be something amazing to show, but really pushing them over the edge. And this is going to be a challenge that is focused on warming up that lead, right? And you could create a private Facebook group for people. Another one, it could be your favorite private Facebook group for that challenge. You could also go, I want to increase my business leads. So I'm going to create a private Facebook group, and you can spend time right now marketing that, saying, hey, have you ever thought about starting a side gig in the health and wellness industry? It is you can pull from some of that information, multi-billion-dollar industry. We know that people now have changed their priorities coming out of COVID, and people are most concerned about their stress levels, the holistic health of their body, and their immunity. How can you start earning an income and be a part of the fastest growing sector in the business and product industry, whatever, right? I'm hosting this special group for people who want to learn more about the opportunity and test drive a business. Test drive a business is important. That languaging. Why? This is something that I used to do, and I would do just this. I had a Facebook group. I would promote it usually like once a quarter or twice a year. I would like really do this. And I would tell people, hey, if you've ever been interested in doing what I do or earning some income on the side, I'm actually letting people come into a private Facebook group and I'm letting you test drive a business with me. There's no fees, there's no sign up, nothing. You get to test drive it. And here's the challenge that I would put out to each person in there. I would tell them, I would do a few little videos about the product, right? Give them a bit of information and say, here are 4 different products that I want you to focus on, right? Here's the information sheet. I want you to go reach out to, 3 to 10 people, and I want you to go sell those products to them. Now you can say to them, you can be totally transparent. You can say, hey, I'm interested in joining this company. They have amazing products. I'm kind of test driving some things right now. I wanted to tell you about, are you interested in learning about some of these products? They would go do that. Now the test drive part was they would come back to me and they'd say, Lindsay, I have 4 people who want to grab this product. I'd say, great. So here's the option that you have. You have 4 sales right now. If this felt like something that you want to do, let's get you signed up today. And those are going to be your first 4 customers. If after this, do you have some other questions, or do you feel like maybe this isn't for you? If they said, you know what, like, I don't think it's for me, it was too much stress, whatever, I'd say that's fine. I can put those orders through myself and onboard them as my 4 new customers. And as a thank you for referring them to me, I have a very special gift for you. Mm-hmm. I gave them the opportunity. It was called, like, we used to call it flipping a party, right? Like, or flipping an event. It was essentially like, those of you who've ever been in direct sales, it was like saying to the host of a party, which I would also do this in person. If I had someone that was partnered with me and it was, hey, bring your friends together, I'm going to show the product to your friends, I'd say to her, hey, listen, there's $700 going in orders tonight, right? I can still give you the host gift if you just want to be the host. But if you want to sign up tonight and become an associate and do this business with me, these can be your first orders. I was happy to give away sales to a new person if it meant that I was building out a leg of my business. Mm-hmm. If I was onboarding a new person. And so you can create that atmosphere. Again, this is not to give you guys a bunch of ideas to do all of them. This could be something that you sit down and go, I'm going to do that in July, right? But letting people test drive, you give them that challenge. Think, how many of you have ever done a catalog party? Maybe Scentsy does them a lot. Maybe you got like a Scentsy catalog and, you brought it to work and you put it kind of in the workroom, or maybe you've seen that before, and people just kind of order on the order form from some samples that somebody just brought to the office. It's kind of just like, hey, like, go tell your friends about the product and I'll give you a gift for sharing it with other people. Right? You can do that on social media. You can say, hey, I'm looking for like 5 influencers, who want to help get our new product box out there. And in return, for every person, I'm going to, I have a special gift for you. If you can get 5 people, I have an amazing gift to give you. And maybe it's a gift basket, or it's a gift basket and a gift card somewhere, or whatever, right? But I did that a lot. I flipped people a lot by doing that, because people are not afraid to talk to their friends when they know it's not their business. Think about how many times people refer products all day long to their friends, and then they start a business and they're like, oh no, they're too scared to even talk about it, because it's like, I don't want to seem like I'm benefiting off my friends. But if I said, hey, go find 3 friends and see if they like the product with you, and in turn, I can either give you a gift for helping me out, Or if you realize that you really like doing this and you want to do it with me, those can be your first 3 to 4 customers. Okay, well, sure, why not? It's letting people give it a try. I've talked about that before, using the language of you can give this a try can be a really safe conversation for a lot of people. But those are 2 ideas that can help increase your leads for January 1. So sales, mostly follow up or doing that challenge where you buy product. Again, don't overload yourself, pick one or the other. Leads, you could do a free challenge where you're going to be warming people up and then ending with an offer. Or you could focus more on the opportunity and get them to go find some friends, let them test drive. You can, in this group, talk about the compensation plan, why Manatech is amazing, why customers are finally catching up with Manatech. Manatech has been leading and, like at the forefront of nutrition in this way and aloe for decades. And we haven't had the information. We haven't even known how amazing and important this is, but we're starting to learn, right? So this is why now is the perfect opportunity. I love too the language of, especially if you're looking to broaden your team and go within a different demographic, let's say the millennial demographic, you can tell them this is like a ground floor opportunity for you, but with an established and reputable company. Right? It's, we don't have that millennial demographic. This is really their opportunity for someone to come in and make it their own. But it's not the ground floor opportunity with a new company that has a lot of hiccups, that is gonna, run out of products. They are just getting started. We have the reputation and the longevity of an established company that's not going anywhere, but a ground floor opportunity for that demographic to take this opportunity and run with it. Okay. So some ideas for you there. And then if you want to just increase your followers, where this is something like, this is always my last thing. This is obviously how you find new people, right? But again, something that you can be thinking about to even utilize in the first quarter of the year, not necessarily in the next 2 weeks. Increasing your followers. So those are, again, followers and leads are different. Leads are people who want to do business with you. Followers are people that are just getting to know you. They've just discovered you. So not everyone who follows you on social media is a lead. Not everyone who likes your social media post is a lead. These are followers. How do I turn my follower into a lead? Well, we just talked about it. You do challenges, right? You do private Facebook groups. You promote an ebook. You say, I'm going to do a Facebook Live next week on gut health. Join my Facebook group to come check that out. Everyone who enters that Facebook group is in fact a lead because they're more interested in working with you. So how do I find some of these new followers? 2 really simple things: giveaways and contests can be a great way to, boost up your engagement, attract some new people. And within that, you can also partner with another leader from another direct sales company. Now, I preface direct sales company, and here's why. You could, of course, partner with any business. You could partner with a local personal trainer, in your area. You could partner with a gym. You could partner with a naturopath. There's obviously so many different things you can do. But what I love about the direct sales industry, and I mentioned this, I believe, last week, is that when you connect with other leaders, not only do they have an entire customer base, they also have an entire team. And so their exposure to people is significant. I built so much of my customer base by working with direct sales leaders of other companies that complemented my product, but did not directly compete with it. Because some of them became my best customers. Because they didn't sell, or didn't sell what I had. And so I became their go-to person. I told you, I used to go work with leaders and say, hey, I know you have a big organization. I sell makeup. I would love to do a makeup tutorial for your team on how they can do professional and natural makeup for networking events and different events that they go to. Talk about some business etiquette, how to make sure we look professional, right? Some different tips that maybe they haven't learned before. Great. We don't sell that. We sell, cookware. Amazing. It's value to her to say, hey, guess what? We have somebody coming in next month into our team page to do a free makeup tutorial for all of you, right? That makes the leader look good. And then, I would sell my products. I gained a bunch of new customers. So to find new followers, partner up with other people. I used to call them business besties or your business best friend, right? Find people to connect with in the industry for a number of reasons. One, for that, but I also loved connecting with leaders outside of my company because they had different ideas. They had a different company culture. They had different strategies. I always had, there was a group of us that used to meet quarterly. So just 4 times a year, right? But we would meet on Zoom and we would just have this mastermind. We were top leaders in our companies. We weren't looking to compete with each other or recruit each other. It was just, what are you doing with your team that's working for you right now? We'd show up with that question. And I'd say, I just did this, or I just started doing more home events because I was of the, generation of direct sales where it was like no one do home parties, do everything on social media. Home parties are so passe. And I tested a few out and they worked amazing. I think I've shared this before. I did a home event and I sold over $3,000 in an hour. And I was like, why am I not doing this like once a month? Why is my team not doing this if I know that people, when they're together in person, are more likely to buy? Tanya says, my associate connected with about 6 other leaders and companies that are not nutrition, and they had a great month in cross promotions this past month. Yes, there's so much value by connecting and collaborating. It is collaboration over competition.
Mm-hmm.
When you see successful people, don't think, how can I compete with them? Say, how can I collaborate with them? How can I be like them? How can I connect with them? I have secret mentors, people who are my mentors who don't even know it, right? And I just follow what they do online and I see what it is that they're doing and I emulate a lot of those things. I'm always willing to connect with other strong entrepreneurs, strong trainers, things like that. I love that, right? Again, it's not the competition, it's the collaboration. And like Tanya mentioned, great month in cross promotions. You could work together on creating bundles, right? Like there's so much stuff that you could do by working with somebody else. And sometimes it's really important to collaborate. Think about it when, Nike collaborates with Air Jordan, right? With Michael Jordan. It brings so much more value to the customer. It brings more excitement, right? And you're being able to cross pollinate, right? Like you're able to dip into multiple, think about it. Network marketing is about networking, right? It's how do I get into other people's circles of influence to increase my own? And so the amazing way to increase those followers, which you can also, Tanya just shared, can also increase your sales and your leads, is by connecting with other leaders in other companies and doing some cross promotions, is being able to hop in each other's Facebook groups and really provide value. So if that is something that you're like, I would love to do that, Linz, but I am not super savvy yet. I feel like I'm not great at Facebook Live. You need to make a plan, right? So you can go, I want to do this. This sounds amazing, right? I may say, I want to run, I don't know, an Ironman event. I want to do a triathlon. That sounds amazing. Does that mean that I can go sign up and do the triathlon tomorrow? No, it means that I'm going to have to what? Start practicing getting back on my bike. I'm going to have to go to the pool and start swimming every single day. And I'm going to have to make sure I'm running every single night. I'm working out. I'm doing all the things. I'm prepping for it. So if you think this sounds amazing, but I can't do it, say, I'm going to do it 6 months from now. What am I going to do right now? I'm going to start going on Facebook Live every single day and I'm going to get better at it. I'm going to practice sharing a presentation with my friends and family. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to do all the steps required. Just because you're not ready for it today doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you have a plan and you need to execute that plan. Like I said, nobody signs up for a marathon or anything like that the day before. People train extensively for these things. And you have to start getting into the mindset of, I just need to train for the things that I want to do in my business. And it's okay if I'm a beginner right now. Right? And you don't even have to be amazing at it. That's the thing you also need to get out of your head. You just got to be human and show up and have a conversation, right? Okay. So, some things to think about for the first quarter of the year as we head into January. What social platforms do I want to use? Where do I kind of want to focus my time? Why do I want to use it? And what are my goals? What are my goals here? It can't just be, I want to use Facebook because I just, Lindsay says that it's great for business, right? What are my goals? Do I want to increase my followers? Do I want to build my Facebook group and make at least an additional $1,000 in volume from my Facebook group every single month? Right? Have specific goals. That way you're able to measure and track them. So how will I measure those goals? And what is my marketing plan? How do I want to do this? Right? We talked about so many different things today that you could do. And you're not going to do all of them because guess what? You can't.
Right.
You can't do them all. You will burn out and you're not going to see success. Pick one thing and do it well. Right? And then how will I stay accountable? How am I going to stay accountable to doing this? It's why I love doing challenges. You know why? When I promote, hey, I'm doing a 30-day challenge, guess what? I've committed to now doing it for 30 days. And I have other people doing it with me. Right? I remember when I first got into going into the gym, because I used to, not so much right now, but I used to do extensive Olympic lifting and things like that. And when I first started going to the gym to do this, I always went with a friend because I would not cancel on my friend. I would cancel on me quite often, but I would not cancel on my friend. How do I stay accountable to this? Right? It's either going to be I have an accountability system or my why is so incredibly important, right? There's a lot of different ways that I tried to convince myself to take my supplements every single day, to take my products every day. I had to create a system because I would just forget. But now my why is so much greater. Because secret, I'm 8.5 weeks pregnant. Yay! Which is why I've been having a lot of Gravol lately. If you guys have seen some of that, I know. And so it's just, that's made me more passionate.
Yeah.
Right? About every single thing that I'm doing. Because it's not just about me anymore.
Right.
It's about me now as a mother nourishing her child. And there's no way that I have not missed a single supplement that I need because it's so important to me. I was going to tell you guys after the break, but I'm like, oh, this is a good little place to kind of slip it in. And I know a lot of you have kind of known my journey and my struggles with it. I've shared that in some calls. And yeah, so I've been very sick, lots of throwing up. Threw up right before this call, but that's okay. But my adrenaline right now, training helps me, makes me feel better. But yeah, just so excited. But these are things you have to come back to your why. I was reading a book, actually it's this book right here, I have it beside me. Such an easy book to read. I read it in one day. Literally it took me maybe 3 hours, very quick. It's called The Coaching Habit. It's The Coaching Habit, Say Less, Ask More, and Change the Way You Lead Forever.
Wow.
It's brilliant. It's so good for anybody that is in leadership, anybody that is in, Joan said, I know this morning, you look particularly beautiful now. I know why. Thank you. I also did add some blonde to my hair, lightening it up a little bit. But it's great for anybody who is a leader, anybody who has people on their team, And do you know what? Majority of the time when we're working with a customer, we're having coaching conversations, right? And this book is it seems long, but it's so quick of a read. It goes through different questions to ask and why they're so impactful. And one of the points in here is they talk about is most people, trying to find it, but most people have a hard time sticking to their goals. So if you can help somebody attach that goal to something outside of themselves, they are more likely to stay attached to it. Even you think about such a funny example, but like Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the first things that they teach them is prayer, because they have to be connected to something bigger than themselves, because you just don't want to show up for yourself. So it talked about things like if you say, I want to make more money. Okay, well, I want to make more money because I want to travel and I want to, have nice things and I want to be able to pay my bills, with these. That sounds great. But is that going to motivate most people? Truly, probably not. But if their goal is, I want to increase my finances every single month because I don't ever want my child to be worried if we can pay the bills next month. I don't want to tell my child no to soccer camp. I want my child to pick whatever college or, university that they want without fear of, there's no way that my parents could handle this.
Mhm.
That motivates a parent more than a goal that they've set for themselves.
Absolutely.
And so I loved this book. Like I said, I read it because I'm doing my coaching certification, some of you know, and we had to read a book and whatever. So I chose this one and it took me literally 4 hours. And I have so many notes in it and I continue to come back to it. I always keep it beside me. It's really great. So I suggest grabbing that. It's by Michael Bungay Stanier. It's called The Coaching. I'll put it in the chat for you guys. The Coaching, Coaching Habit. Michael. It's a great book to just read like over the break. Like you could literally do it in one afternoon. You could split it up and just read like a little bit a day if you want to. But there's 7 different questions, I think, that they go through. So you could read one question a day. Honestly, like I said, it really took me like 3 to 4 hours to read it. So really, really easy. Lots of great languaging, questions to ask. To be a good salesperson is learning to be a good coach.
Right.
Because you need to know people's why. When you're following up with somebody, if you know their why and what motivates them, you're going to have a more successful conversation with them. If you know how to coach somebody, you're going to be able to get to the root of their problems. What's holding them back? What's going to motivate them and help them succeed more than ever possible? You're going to be able to take people who've been on your team who have, kind of ghosted for a while, or they not putting in orders anymore. They're doing the bare minimum, to helping them increase their business. You're going to be able to reignite so many people just by learning how to be a good coach. So definitely check out this book. I'll post it too in the group for you guys. But yeah, we're at the end now of the training. Again, I know there's been so many options provided to you, not just today, but over the last, 3-4 months. You can't do everything, but you have to choose and do something. And remember the triathlon. You're not going to sign up and run a triathlon tomorrow. You're going to sign up and run it in a year from now. And you're going to spend every day cycling, swimming, and running to prepare yourself for it. So even if you've heard something that you're like, I can't do this now, don't let it be, I can do this never. Start practicing. Start working out those muscles. Go, what do I need to be able to do this successfully? If it's practice Facebook Live, if it is practice my, 30-second commercial, with more people, if it is to get more comfortable talking in social situations, then go do those things. Go put yourself in situations where you have to go talk to people. Go to a networking event and say, I'm just going to socialize with people here. I'm not going to try to find a new customer or a new lead because I'm really scared, but I'm still going to go. And I'm going to go to the refreshment table and I'm going to ask somebody a question. Right? I'm going to say, do you know where the bathroom is? That's my goal for today, is to find the confidence to ask somebody where the bathroom is. You have to build up the muscles. So take what you've learned so far, allow yourself to sit down, give yourself, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever it is, make a plan. What am I going to do immediately for my business? You guys know how to follow up. What am I going to do come January 1 to improve my business? And what do I want to accomplish by the end of the first quarter? So by the end of March, where would I like to be? Where would I like to see myself in my business? And ask yourself, what's motivating you? And what is my why? And if you're feeling like it's the same thing you say every year and you don't attach it, make it bigger than yourself. Connect it to somebody else. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your children. Maybe it's your grandchildren. Maybe you're like, you know what? I want this to be a legacy business. I want my family to benefit from this longer than I'm working it. How can I create that opportunity? Connect it to something larger than you. I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas and holiday season. Don't slow down with your business, but enjoy the break. Enjoy your time with your family. That is your time. That is your why right there. Allow that to fuel your passion for your business and what it is that you're doing. So compartmentalize parts of the day. I'm going to follow up with 5 people today. Take 10, 15 minutes in the morning with your coffee or, sometime in the afternoon, and be present. Be present when you're working your business and be present when you're not. Be present with your family. Enjoy the holiday season. I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas, an amazing end of the year. I'm excited for 2022 and everything that we have in store. And I appreciate all of you and believe in you guys so, so much. That's it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm just so excited. I have another ultrasound on Monday, but I've already gone for 2 and everything looks amazing and baby's heartbeat's super strong and yeah. So July is when baby's coming.
July.
Amazing. All right, friends. Have an amazing rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much for spending part of it with me.
Thank you, Lindsay.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
Love you.
Love you guys.